Hi, I'm Mark Montano, and you're watching Make Your Mark. Today we're celebrating one of my favorite times of the year. We'll be making papier-mâché skulls, creating some simple light-up jack-o'-lanterns, building some glow-in-the-dark stepping stones, making a great DIY flapper costume, and bringing some paper spiders to life. Get ready to see some enchanting projects in this week's episode, Spooky and Kooky.
This show is made possible by Krylon. Krylon has been formulating paints that deliver color, durability, and fast dry time since 1947. Our range of products expands from indoors to out with a variety of formulations to meet project needs, from plastic and laminate to rust preventative, and craft and hobby products. And by Eclectic Products, makers of the E6000 family of adhesives. E6000 professional strength adhesives for crafts, decor, home repairs, scrapbooking, photos, framing, and more. E6000 industrial strength adhesive. Favecrafts.com is proud to sponsor Make Your Mark. At favecrafts.com, you can find craft projects, videos, and tips. New crochet, Christmas crafts, sewing, kids crafts, jewelry making, knitting, paper craft projects, and more. And by Plaid Enterprises. Plaid has been happily helping crafters bring ideas to life with products such as folk art, Delta, Apple Barrel, Lucilla, Gallery Glass, One Stroke, and Mod Podge. Plaid. Creative ideas made easy.
Decorating for the holidays is the perfect reason to get creative and explore different traditions. Today, I'm going to show you a way to do both. We'll be making papier-mâché skulls inspired by the Day of the Dead. This is an easy project that the kids will also enjoy making. These skulls are the perfect canvas to paint whatever you like. To get started, we need to blow up a medium-sized balloon. About that size, a little bit smaller than my head. All good papier-mâché starts with a balloon. Next, we need a 14-inch by 2-inch strip of cardboard. Take your piece of cardboard and rub it over the edge of your table to give it a nice curve. Just like that. This is the base of our skull. Next, we're going to tape our balloon inside the base. So I'm going to just take some regular transparent tape, attach the base to the balloon. Just like that. Can you see the skull shape taking place already? Now we're going to make our papier-mâché medium. And this is really simple. I just like to use a decoupage medium and a little bit of water, and it works perfectly. We're going to take newspaper strips, about a ½ inch to an inch thick, and just dip it in the decoupage medium and entirely cover our balloon and base. And this is going to take a little while. Make sure that your papier-mâché medium is nice and thick. Once you're done covering the entire structure, you're going to let it dry at least overnight. Now, if you put it under a desk lamp, it'll dry even faster. And when it's done, it's going to look like this, hard as a rock. Make sure to get all sides of your structure, even the bottom. Once your skull is dry, we're going to take it outside and spray it with a primer and then spray paint it white. Come on. Now that this is white, it's just like an empty canvas and we can paint on it whatever we want. I just hopped on the internet and found a ton of different pictures that I really liked, and I'm gonna take elements from each one and apply it to this particular skull. I'm gonna go ahead and draw my design on with a pencil. And if I don't like it, I can always take it outside and spray paint it white again. With a thin paintbrush, paint over your penciled design with a black acrylic paint. And outline our design just like you would see in a coloring book. Take your time because I think this is the fun part. Once you have a really good idea of what your design is going to be and you've outlined it all, now it's time to add a little bit of color. Now, if you don't want to use acrylic paints, you could use big markers or glue and glitter, whatever you want to use to decorate your skull. Go ahead and take your time to work the detail in your skulls because when they're all done, they're so worth it. I hope you guys have as much fun making these skulls as I do. And if you do make them, send us a picture on Facebook or Twitter. Chinese lanterns are the perfect way to add some magic to a party. If you're looking to add a fun twist to these for this time of year, I'm going to show you a great way you can dress them up as jack-o'-lanterns. Design a fun face that's going to look good on your paper lantern. Once you've figured it out, trace it onto your black construction paper. Make sure the face you've drawn out is proportional to the size of the lantern. Next, carefully cut out all the pieces. Depending on the difficulty of your face, this might take a little while. This would be a great alternative to a pumpkin carving contest because it's a lot less messy. Once you've cut out your pieces, you've got several options for securing them to your paper lantern. You could glue them or use a double stick tape. I prefer a sticker machine because the pieces that I've cut are a little bit more intricate. Time to secure our pieces to the lantern. When you're done sticking on your pieces, drop in a light bulb and hang them from the ceiling. If you want to throw some spooky and kooky into your yard, Peter is here to help us make awesome glow-in-the-dark stepping stones. They're really cool and they add a great touch to your landscaping. Peter Marr has experience in all realms of construction, from celebrity homes to the set we're standing on right now. For the past 10 years, he's been the host of a variety of home decor television shows, sharing his knowledge of building. To top it all off, Peter is an award-winning comic. The first thing I want to do is I want to add something to the back of the stars so that when it's in the cement, it's there permanently. What I ended up doing was using a little bit of industrial glue and gluing a screw on so that when it's inside of the cement, it's there to stay. All right, so glue a screw on the back of that.
And that's easy, just an industrial strength glue. Open it up, put a little on the head right there. Set it on the back of the star. And voila, perfecto.
Once these are dry, we're going to create a mold using the bottom of a bucket, and this is going to be the shape of our stepping stone. The next step is that we're going to mix up some rapid set cement so that, we're not waiting all night for it to dry.
No way.
This will set up in about 15 minutes.
So one thing to remember when you're using rapid set cement is you got to work fast because this stuff will harden. It's a chemical reaction. It's going to get a little bit warm. Keep that in mind.
Okay.
So we'll start off with a little bit of water inside of here.
So right now we're mixing up our cement and we're going to try to work as quickly as possible. You're like a master chef with this stuff.
Yeah.
Here.
You will need to keep stirring this because it will, like I said before, it will set up on you if you don't watch it. So all we gotta do is stir up the water and the cement mix. And you're gonna look for a consistency that's like cookie dough.
Okay.
So we have this bucket here, and all we need to do is pour this on top of there until it's the level with the top of the bucket.
Okay. All right, so that's exactly how much we needed.
You don't have to have a trowel, but it does come in handy when you're trying to smooth out the top. Well, we have our stepping stone almost exactly where we want it to be. Now, before it gets too set up, we need to put in some stars.
Let's put the stars in.
Put them in.
This is very exciting.
Where do you want that star?
Right here.
Awesome. Where do you want that star?
I'm not sure. What do you think, like right here? All right, well then you take over.
Cover that guy.
Okay.
And once you put something in there, might be a good idea just to give it a couple of quick taps.
All right, this is gonna look cool. I'm kind of excited about this.
It'd be a star-studded stepping stone.
All right, so we're gonna make sure that this is flush, right?
Now, if you have a sponge, now would be a perfect time to grab it, fill it up with water, or a rag. We can use this to lightly go over the top to give it a nice, smooth finish. And it'll also keep the stone from being super smooth. It gives it a little bit of texture, because after all, it is a stepping stone, not a slipping stone. Now, you also notice that you're gonna have a little bit of concrete laying on top of your stars, and don't worry about that just yet.
This seems like it was pretty quick and easy.
Well, Mark, it only seems quick and easy because it was quick and easy. Okay, so we're gonna let this set up for a little bit. We're still a little wet on the surface, and after another 5 or 10 minutes, it should be dry enough to where we can take a clean rag, wipe off the excess off the stars, and be very close to popping this out of the mold and setting it up in the yard.
Excellent.
Perfect. Let's go get a sandwich.
Great.
Once it's dry, pop it out of the mold, and it's done. Should we see if this thing works?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
I'm known for my wild and crazy costumes. I don't buy off the rack because I never like to show up in the same costume as someone else. So every year, I make my own. The 1920s are always a popular theme for costumes, so I'm going to show you how to make your own DIY flapper costume out of some easy-to-find materials. Not only will you win every costume contest, you'll have a reason to finally do the Charleston. You're going to lay out your first t-shirt. This is going to be the top of the dress. I know it doesn't look like much now, but it's going to be amazing, I promise. Measure 2 inches beyond the neckline, right here on the shoulder. And then another 2 inches past that first mark. You're going to take your scissors and cut up the center of the sleeve to the outer mark right here. Don't cut any further than that. Next, we're going to cut from the neckline to the first mark. And we're going to repeat on the other side. Okay, and this is what it should look like. Next, we're going to cut off this crew neck right here in the front from this first mark to the second mark. From here, you can stop right in the middle and fold that over so that it's even on both sides. Cut that off like that. You're going to do the same thing in the back, but just a little bit higher. I think it's really fun to make costumes out of things like t-shirts because we have so many of them. We basically have the top of our dress now, and this is kind of what it's going to look like. So we're gonna take the bottom half of our second t-shirt, and that's going to be the bottom half of our dress. Just wanna make sure that we cut it evenly. So if you can see that, we have our basic dress already coming together. Now it's time to start sewing. To finish the edges on our scoop neck and our split sleeve, and all we're going to do is fold it over and use a basic zigzag stitch, just so it has a nice finished edge. I'm going to fold it in about 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so we have a nice finish on the sleeve. We're going to do the same on the neck, all the way around. Part of the reason that I'm actually sewing this costume is because I really want it to last. So we have the bottom part of our flapper dress, and we're going to add several layers of fringe to it all the way around. I have a nice 6-inch red fringe, but you can use any color that you want. So I just doubled the measurement of the t-shirt, and that should be enough to go around, just like that. And I'm thinking 4 layers of fringe will be really good. Okay, we've cut out our fringe, and now we're gonna start sewing it to the base of our dress. And when you're sewing on fringe, you wanna start on the bottom and work your way to the top. It's just a lot easier that way, trust me. Because it's a costume, I'm just gonna eyeball it, but if you're more comfortable with pins, go ahead and do that. When we get to the end of our fringe, we're just gonna tuck under about 1/2 inch and overlap where we started. So give it a nice clean finish. We're putting on our second layer of fringe 3 inches above where we sewed on the first one. We're just gonna mark it with a pencil on both sides. And we're also gonna continue marking so we can just keep sewing. Okay, now we can sew on the rest of the fringe. There you go, just like a flapper skirt. Now, I don't know if you noticed this, but fringe has a thread at the bottom that keeps all of it together so that it doesn't get tangled while you're sewing it. And now is the time that you want to take it off. And it just comes off just like this. All right, let's check out this flapper skirt. Not bad. This is going on the top of our dress. So what we're going to do is turn this inside out. Just like that. And we're going to tuck this inside the shirt. So we're just going to stitch it together like this, and then pull it right side out. You give it about 1/2 inch seam allowance. Okay, we're ready to turn the whole thing right side out. You ready for this? Now that we've attached our fringe, we're going to add a belt and some sequin appliques to really make this sing. We'll put the sequin appliques at the shoulder, right here. These are iron-on, so we're gonna go ahead and iron them on quickly. You wanna use a press cloth with sequins, or iron on the underside of the sequins. The basic dress is finished. We just have a few more details, so let's put it on the dress form and finish it up. To finish this dress, we took a 2-inch satin ribbon, tied it around the hips, and we secured it with another sequin applique right here. we added some really long pearls, which make it very 1920s. For the headband, we took a basic red plastic hairband and we glued a black feather hackle pad to the side of it and another sequin applique right across the forehead. This is the perfect accessory for our 1920s flapper dress. What do you say you and I get out of here and go find a speakeasy, sweetheart? Who doesn't love a little spider decor? I've been making my own out of paper for a while, and they're great for decorations or to add to accessories. Add some googly eyes and they're too cute to be scary. Plus, I can't think of a better way to recycle old magazines. The first thing we're going to do is cut magazine strips 3.5 inches wide. You're going to need about 7 of them. Take 1 strip of magazine and roll it into a straw starting from the corner, just like this. When you get to the end, you're going to add a little bit of glue to hold it in place. After you've made 7 straws, take 2 of them and insert one into the other, just like that. Take a pair of needle nose pliers and start wrapping the straws around the tip. When you get to the end, you're going to add a little bit of glue. And then just hold it in place while it dries. This is the body of the spider. Next, we're going to take 1 straw and do the same thing with the needle nose pliers, and this is going to be the head. When the 2 discs are dry, you're going to connect them with a tiny dab of hot glue. And now you've created the body and the head of your spider. Now it's time to create the legs. Cut the remaining 4 straws 6 inches long. Next, you're going to cut 4 pieces of wire just a little bit longer than your tubes. Insert a piece of wire into one of your tubes. With the needle nose plier, you're going to bend over each end so it stays in place. Just like that. Next, we're going to center a leg on the body. We're going to bend it up to make kind of like the letter U, and then bend it down to make the letter M. We're going to create 4 of these. Next, we're going to glue the legs to the underside of the body, just like that. You put a generous amount of hot glue. We're going to add the leg. You're going to do that with the 3 other legs. Now that the spider's done, we're going to take it outside and spray it with some high gloss black. Here's a tip. While the paint is wet, we're going to sprinkle it with black glitter to give it some texture. Now that the spider's dry, we're going to add googly eyes. Nothing is complete without googly eyes. I'm very serious about this. So for this, we're just going to use a dab of white glue on each eye. Boop. Now that your spiders are dry, you can do a number of things with it. You could put it on a headband and wear it to a Halloween party. You could put it on a bobby pin and just wear it because you want to. Or you could put a refrigerator magnet on it and put it right on your fridge. You're not that cute. Today was so much fun. I hope you're ready to be spooky, kooky, and creative. We made awesome papier-mâché skulls, designed some great jack-o'-lanterns, created glowing stepping stones with Peter, put together a great DIY flapper costume, and recycled our magazines into paper spiders. Now it's your turn to make your mark.
This show is made possible by Krylon. Krylon has been formulating paints that deliver color, durability, and fast dry time since 1947. Our range of products expands from indoors to out with a variety of formulations to meet project needs, from plastic and laminate to rust preventative, and craft and hobby products. And by Eclectic Products, makers of the E6000 family of adhesives. E6000 professional strength adhesives for crafts, decor, home repairs, scrapbooking, photos, framing, and more. E6000 industrial strength adhesive. Favecrafts.com is proud to sponsor Make Your Mark. At favecrafts.com, you can find craft projects, videos, and tips. New crochet, Christmas crafts, sewing, kids crafts, jewelry making, knitting, paper craft projects, and more. And by Plaid Enterprises. Plaid has been happily helping crafters bring ideas to life with products such as Folk Art, Delta, Apple Barrel, Lucilla, Gallery Glass, One Stroke, and Mod Podge. Plaid. Creative ideas made easy.